We begin this broadcast with the dominant global story: rising tensions in the Middle East involving Iran, Israel, Hezbollah, and the United States. Diplomatic efforts intensified this week as leaders work to prevent escalation and protect global energy supplies, particularly around the Strait of Hormuz.
That's right, Iago. Meanwhile, world leaders gathered in France for the G7 summit, where discussions focused on security, economic stability, energy markets, AI governance, and international cooperation. And of course, the 2026 FIFA World Cup continued to capture global attention, with major nations starting their campaigns across North America.
In Washington, foreign policy challenges dominated the agenda, with emergency diplomatic efforts directed at the Middle East. Immigration enforcement also remained a hot political topic, especially in New York and New Jersey.
And let's not forget the World Cup. American host cities saw heightened focus on security, transportation, and tourism as international visitors arrived in large numbers.
Across Europe, governments closely monitored Middle East developments, worried about energy security and economic stability.
The G7 summit in France was the week's most significant political event in Europe. Meanwhile, football fans celebrated England's strong start in the World Cup.
Globally, diplomacy centered on preventing further escalation in the Middle East. Leaders also discussed trade, defense cooperation, and preparations for upcoming elections.
In Europe, leaders coordinated positions on Ukraine, energy, and AI competitiveness. In the United States, foreign policy toward Iran remained the central issue, while immigration and election activity also drew attention.
Global markets reacted strongly to Middle East tensions. Oil prices rose, inflation trends were closely monitored, and AI infrastructure continued to attract major investment.
In Europe, energy security dominated discussions, while tourism boosted southern economies. In the U.S., consumer spending remained healthy, technology stocks drove market activity, and housing affordability stayed a challenge.
The biggest entertainment story worldwide was the FIFA World Cup, hosted across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. Billions tuned in, and tourism surged.
Summer festivals, concerts, and blockbuster movies also drew large audiences. In Washington, D.C., museums and monuments welcomed more visitors, while preparations continued for America's 250th anniversary celebrations.
AI remained one of the week's most influential technology stories. Companies announced new investments in data centers and semiconductors, while governments debated regulation and safety standards.
And in entertainment, AI-powered personalization became increasingly important for streaming platforms, shaping how audiences experience digital content.
The group stage brought surprises, with emerging football nations challenging traditional powers. Stadiums were full, tourism boomed, and social media engagement reached record highs.
Host cities reported increased hotel occupancy, restaurant traffic, and local business sales. The World Cup truly combined sports, culture, and global media attention.
On the commodities front, soybean prices declined, coffee rose, and iron ore weakened.
Equity markets worldwide ended lower, pressured by geopolitical uncertainty and energy market volatility. The dominant financial theme of the week was caution, as investors weighed risks to inflation and global growth.
So, the week was defined by Middle East tensions, energy market uncertainty, and the excitement of the FIFA World Cup.
And alongside all that, artificial intelligence continued to reshape economies, politics, and entertainment. That's all for this week's broadcast. Thank you for joining us.